within your classroom, there are going to be times when poor behaviour takes place, which you do need to actually approach the student for. Now again, how do we approach the student without escalating the situation? There's lots we can do to make it better, there's lots that we can do to make it worse. Is it right that somebody like myself, 6'2", goes and leans over a student, gets in their personal space? Because it is their personal space. I have my personal space, they have theirs, and start chastising them. All you are going to do then is you are going to get into a situation of confrontation. Once got into that situation of confrontation, you're going to end up shouting with the student, and it's going to become a shouting match, and again, all your respect is gone, not just from that student, but from every other student in that class. However, if we approach it, because we're going to deal with it, and I stand 9 inches back from their desk, I get down even onto my knees or one knee if I have to, and I get my eyes below their eye level, just a little bit below their eye level, and I talk quietly and calmly to them. And the first thing I say to them is, Paul, I am going to have to give you your first warning within the school sanctions policy. But can I just remind you again that if you comply with our classroom charter here, and we all behave, and we all look after each other, and we respect each other, then nothing further will happen. So all I'm doing at this stage is asking you to take a minute to consider changing your behaviour and come back with us and let's work together in the classroom. Don't wait for an answer, don't wait for an argument, don't wait for an excuse. Then just quietly look at him and say, thank you for listening, stand up, move away. Move away to another student so that you engage with another student. You may be looking at what they're doing, chatting with them. So if this first student then wants to take it any further, not only does he have to have a go at you, but he knows he's being rude because he has to interrupt you and another student having a perfectly normal conversation. A lot of the times the student will take that first warning, you've dealt with them really, really respectfully. You haven't given him or her the opportunity to escalate that situation with you. Everybody else in that class has seen how you have dealt with that. Now, instead of blowing your respect by shouting and getting in his personal space or her personal space, the level of respect every other student in that class has for you has risen, that little chink up again. And they're going to go out of that lesson and they're going to tell people, Miss So-and-so, Mr. So-and-so. He doesn't shout at us, he talks to us like human beings. He shows his respect. And that's the word you want to get out there. And that's what you can do by being very, very careful about how you approach a student. Don't not make the approach. You have to deal with this, but deal with it respectfully. Treat them with respect. So we move on. That doesn't work. And the behaviour, again, you have to give the student their second warning. So you go again. You just use exactly the same approach again. You're not trying to escalate it and make it worse. But what you do say to the student is, are you aware of how the school sanctions policy works? Their answer will be yes, because they do. All you'd have to do is stick to our classroom agreement. And you stick to our classroom agreement, we're not going to get to the sanction, because the third time I have to come over to you, it will be a sanction because I will follow the school policy. And then it's the same process again. We're down low, we're talking calmly to them, and then we end it. Thank you for listening. We go and talk to another student, or we go back up to the front of the class and carry on giving whole class expectations out or instructions. If then the third occasion happens, we go through the whole process again. We are actually starting to get a little bit annoyed now as human beings. But this is where your professionalism really must come in, because you're going to give a sanction now. You're going to give this sanction out because you have to be seen to have knowledge of the school processes, and you have to be consistent in how you deliver that. So we go up a third time. So this time we're actually going to deliver the sanction. So do we make it a little bit more forthright? Do we want to make an example of him or her in front of the whole class? Do we want to stand over them and say, right, that's it, you've got an after-school detention tonight, it's your own fault, I've warned you twice. What's going to happen then? Most students are going to grumble at the least. Some students are going to hit the red zone and they're going to kick off. So how do we deal with that? How do we give that sanction? Well, we'll deal with it in exactly the same way as we've given the warnings. We'll deal with it quietly, respectfully, down, low level again, under their eye level, talking to them calm. We're an adult, we're responsible, we're calm, we're showing you respect still, and we give them the sanction. That's it. walk away again. So that process doesn't actually change of how you deal with it from a first warning to actually issuing the sanction. Because the student knows they're going to get a sanction on the third occasion, if that's your policy.